Hey all. This video, we're going to talk about balancing um, rest and relaxation versus adventure when you're taking a cruise. And I don't necessarily just mean adventure like, you know, scaling a cliff, but yeah, just about how much you do in each day.
Well, let's just preface that we do not scale cliffs.
No,
So,
no, not unless we're being chased by something big and hairy.
well, even then I wouldn't. I'm not gonna lie.
There's a lot of things that go into how would you say maximizing your cruise experience, and balancing
What to do, what not to do,
yeah, when to do it, how much to do in a day, things like that.
what your daily activities are like at home
Right.
versus what you
Right.
want to do on the cruise. If you have a,
Sedentary lifestyle.
well, no, I mean, if you have a high stress job and
Okay.
you just want to do rest and relaxation, then go for it.
Yeah.
If you have a high stress job and you like to have that adrenaline rush, then go on an adventure seeking cruise. Just my
So there's
thoughts.
several different areas to think about when picking that balance, finding that balance. First one, at least in our opinion, is choosing the right cruise, because there are different types of cruises, and even at a very high level, the cruise line. We'll get into that in a minute. But Cheryl has something she wants to say. She's been grabbing my leg, telling me to shush.
He wishes I was grabbing his leg. That's our adventure for the day.
Yeah, really.
We've been on a variety of cruises, and honestly, one of my favorites has been the ABC cruise, which is the Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. Aruba itself offered a big island feel for a small island, and a little bit more commercialized than Bonaire and Curacao.
Yeah. So that's one that there's actually a good combination, because I mean, Aruba, there was lots of activities, lots of places to go, things to do, people to see. Bonaire and Curacao, actually, Aruba was the biggest and the busiest. Curacao was smaller and less busy, but still plenty of stuff to do. Bonaire, tiny island. There were things to do, but it had a much more relaxed feel, much more, I don't want to say lackadaisical, more like, that Caribbean, it's all good, relax, have a good time.
Very small town feel-ish.
Yeah. So back to what I was saying earlier, your cruise line choice is arguably the first stop when it comes to trying to balance that the activity level. When you look at the cruise line itself, there's arguably 6 or 7 major cruise line brands that most Americans know of / use for ocean cruising. You've got
versus bathtub cruising.
Right. You've got the 3 big ones: Norwegian Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean, and Carnival. Those are more geared towards not high adventure is not the right word, but more activity. There's 853 things to do on each ship on any given day.
That's quite the number.
So if that's what you want, those are probably the right choice. If you want something more
relaxing,
more mature, more
don't go on a cruise.
Tranquil, peaceful. Those you want to look more like Princess, Holland America, Cunard, those kinds of cruise lines. They do have things to do for kids. They do have activities, but
more for the mature crowd.
Yeah. You don't have to be old to go on them, but older people who like less kids running around, arguably look at those kinds of cruise lines.
So depending on what you're looking for us, we like to do an island tour. We like to snorkel it, and each island has something different to offer. And when we do the tours, we like to see what things that island has, you know, for example, like I think Curacao was rum. No,
No, the blue stuff. Well,
Curacao.
yeah, Curacao. What's it? Blue liquor. It's cure. Yeah,
Can't remember, but
right.
we enjoyed it. But you know, like those type of things, we like to just snorkeling is definitely one of our big things because we're not scuba certified.
Yeah,
Snorkeling is a very chill. It's a day out, and it's just you get to meet new people.
It's
And then
activity, but it's not. You know,
it's not
running
like
a marathon.
go. Well, because neither one of us is doing that either. But it's just you get to see the island because it's usually we do the snorkeling first thing in the morning, depending on the availability, and then we can tour the island, or we can go back on the ship. We like to just go into the port areas to get a magnet to bring home and put in our memory boxes, which I'm behind on. But okay, moving on.
Yeah. Read some of the reviews out there of different cruise lines, of different cruise ships, of different, itineraries to to get a feel for, what other people are saying, is the thing to do on the NCL Jade, as an example, and see if that's a ship that you would want to go on, or read some of the reviews of Nassau, Bahamas, or St. Martin, or St. Thomas, or any of the 83 other islands.
Well, there's more than 83 islands.
Well, oy vey.
It's important to speak to your friends that may have been on cruises, or have been on that particular one that you're looking to go on, to see what they enjoyed, what they didn't like, see what the different islands have to offer, like Eric said. But the Bahamas, we generally, when we stop there, we might get off at in port, but it's very rare because we've been there several times. And
remember though, take your friends' suggestions and advice with a grain of salt because
everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody's different, and our idea of a good island excursion being snorkeling might not be something that our friends would enjoy to do.
Right.
Several of our friends, I don't want to say they don't like the water, but snorkeling is not their idea of fun.
Your mom likes the water, but she doesn't.
She doesn't like to snorkel. Yeah, there's a good example. Right.
And that's, and snorkeling isn't for everybody.
Last but not least, in this area, consult with a travel agent. If you find yourself a good travel agent, and if you don't have one, we happen to know a pretty good one, at least in our opinion.
Well, I am anyway.
A good travel agent will get to know you a little bit, ask you kind of probing questions about your lifestyle and your likes and your dislikes, and they can help guide you not just towards the right cruise line, but to the right itinerary, the right destinations, to make that choice a little easier for you.
Mm-hmm. Or just give you even a little bit more food for thought. Something that you didn't think that I didn't think of that.
I know what food for thought means.
Yeah, don't look at me like that. Punk.
All right, destination highlights.
Oh. We like to definitely look at the diverse locations. Yes. We like to learn as much as possible, like Bimini. Mm-hmm. We did the island tour there, which was phenomenal. We got to have conch.
Conch fritters and conch salad.
Yep, which was amazing.
And Bahamian bread.
Yes.
Which was really good.
It was amazing.
But not only that, but we like to go to different islands. We don't want to do the same itinerary, the same Eastern Caribbean itinerary over and over and over again. We've been there. We've seen a lot of those islands. We like to look for at least one of the ports being a different port than ones we've been to before.
Mm-hmm. And Bimini was one of those.
Right. Yeah. Our last cruise on the Wonder, we hadn't been to Perfect Day at Coco Cay yet, and you hadn't been to
St. Thomas
or
St.
St. Martin.
Correct.
So I had been to both St. Thomas and St. Martin, but St. Martin I never went to on a cruise. I went there with my family as a teenager, and we stayed at an all-inclusive for a week and had a really good time. And I had never been to Perfect Day. So, that's why we chose that. Now, yeah, it rained the whole week, but Oh, well, we still had a good time.
I definitely go back to St. Thomas and St. Martin.
Yeah.
I still had a great time. Doug and Tatiana were
Oh,
great
yeah,
company.
we had great friends with us.
Yeah.
And they made it even more fun, especially because Tatiana, the
wife,
Cheryl's friend, and well, our friend, but she had never been on a cruise before, so that made it even more fun. Kind of experiencing a cruise for the first time through her eyes and being able to suggest, "Oh, try this. Yeah, you might not want to do that," or you know what I mean. Yeah.
So one of the islands that we tend to like to do different things on is Roatan. We've done the snorkeling.
Right.
And then the second time we were there on Celebrity.
Oh, right.
We did
we
the
did ATV tour, right?
Which was, I was scared poopless, I'm not going to lie.
That was the first time Cheryl had ever been on and Cheryl and my sister Ellen had ever been on ATVs.
Well, and here I am thinking that it's going to be a 2-person ATV. It wasn't that way, but I rocked it. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I almost pooped in my pants a couple of times, but it's okay. Got muddy. Somebody fell off of his ATV. I didn't.
No. I didn't fall off.
Oh, he partially
I put my foot down. Well, that's a whole nother
It's
story.
off the pedal and you're falling off. So anyway.
It was a controlled turn.
But after the ATV tour, we actually went to the beach and hung out for a while.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was like a private resort that they, allowed the tour groups to come and sit on the beach. And they had a nice little coffee shop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They had a full bar and restaurant. We weren't real hungry and we needed a break from alcohol. And so we found their coffee shop and the coffee was
It was great. And the
really
people were
good.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I think our host actually, our tour guide actually looked like Kevin Hart. No word of lie.
Yep.
And the ATV, one of the ATV tour guides was a brother to the Jolly Roger snorkeling trip, which was also amazing. So we had a little bit of adventure and a little bit of relaxation.
Yeah.
And that's how we look at it.
For me, when I think of islands that have, like Cheryl's thoughts on Roatan, different things to do, different levels of activity and difficulty, and I think of St. Martin. There's so many beautiful beaches to check out. You can go zip lining, you can ATV, you can snorkel, you can shop, you can drink, you can on and on and on and on. It's my only regret of the last cruise was that we didn't get to really experience a lot of it because of the weather. We still got to see some great things.
Oh, we got to see pigs. Wow, pigs.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But we'll definitely go back there and hope for a sunny day. So,
sunny day.
We definitely like the idea of activity in the morning, relaxation in the afternoon in port stops.
Yeah, because we tend to have more energy in the morning.
Right. And,
well, sometimes.
We need a break because, like, when we're back on the ship, we tend to move a lot on the ship. We don't, we know some people who, they go out, spend the day, in port, and then they come back, they have dinner, and they're in bed at 8 o'clock on a cruise, and that's not us.
Don't get it twisted though. There are times that we are okay. There are times that I am in bed early.
No, not early. I've never put you to bed before 10 o'clock on a cruise. And honestly, usually it's midnight or 2 in the morning, but for both of us. But
sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're looking to take the tours, like Eric said, we like to be not the first ones off the ship, but being able to return when other people are leaving. So it's just, it's the flow of, we were the first group off the ship.
Right.
We get to go back, and a lot of people are then leaving. So it's just...
Or still off the ship.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just... And sometimes we'll hang out at the pool. We'll just go to the smoking deck. We might just get something to eat.
A lot of times we end up at the pool.
Yeah.
Particularly the solarium a lot of times. And we have... we've met some really cool people on port days in the afternoon in the solarium pool.
Gordon and Doreen, hey. But, it's just to each his own.
Right.
This is how we enjoy our cruises.
Yeah, and we're not telling you have to do yours like we do ours. We're just giving you...
Mere suggestions.
Yeah, and one idea of what can be done,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the Wonder of the Seas we were on a couple months ago. There was 5,000 people, 6,000 people. I think, yeah. And every single one of them did the islands their way. So we do like to.
We like to mix it up.
Yeah. So if we've got one particularly busy port day, the next port day we'll arguably try to schedule something a little more relaxing. More time hanging out at the beach, or sitting in a bus taking a tour of the island. And that way we're not, because one of my least favorite parts of cruising is the fact that on a lot of 7-night itineraries, it's you get on the ship, you're at sea, and then it's port, and then you're at sea, and then you're back. I want more time. I want, get on board, sea day, port day, sea day, port day, sea day, port day. Now I know to get that, I got to go on longer cruises, and we're working on that.
Yeah.
But so mixing it up with busy day, slow day, busy day makes it a little less stressful.
The last sea day at the end of the trip just makes it a little bit more relaxing, so that we don't have to all right, we gotta get off the ship tomorrow. But it gives you just a little bit more time to enjoy the peace and quiet of the sea.
One suggestion that we strongly make is to not try and do 2 full excursions in one port in a regular port day. Okay, most port days are give or take 8 hours. All right, most of your standard, particularly cruise ship excursions, are 4 to 4.5 hours.
Some even longer, depending on where you are.
Some are full days, right? But
you said that.
We've seen, we've heard too many stories about people who, book we get into whatever island at 7 a.m. and they've got an excursion at 7:30. Then they've got another excursion at noon, and the ship leaves at 4 o'clock. I highly recommend against that, because you might get away with it once or twice, but that third time you're going to end up being a port runner, and you're going to miss the ship. And doesn't matter how much fun you had that day on your 2 excursions, if you miss the ship, it's going to ruin your cruise.
So in a nutshell,
yes,
if you want to make the most of your trip, make sure that you have some downtime between activities. And,
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. We're just going to keep it short and sweet for the rest of the video.
Yeah. Planning that stuff, when do we plan it? The day of?
No. When we have the ability to go on to the app,
or the website.
Actually, when we're looking at the itinerary in and of itself, we tend to look at the different ports and what they have available. And then we make an educated guess or make educated plans, because we know that we want to go to, for example, Roatan. We know that we've done the snorkeling. We've done kind of the island tour. We want to.
What do we do next time when we're there?
Right. Do we go horseback riding in the ocean? Things like that. It's what works for us.
What the point that Cheryl didn't get that I was trying to make is,
I didn't.
We try to plan those excursions as far in advance as possible. I'm not.
Well, we had the one tour. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We had the one tour.
You already interrupted me.
Oh, squirrel. Bluebeard's Castle, which was canceled.
Right. Yeah, so we had to scramble to get a replacement.
Right.
Which we did, and ended up having a really good time on that tour.
Yeah.
We plan them, whatever the cruise line allows. If they start populating the app or the site with excursions 90 days out, on that 90th day we're looking. And we're starting to plan. We might not buy them on day 90. We might buy them on day 85.
But you run the risk
we start
of
playing, right.
missing out.
Yeah. But I don't want to be getting on the ship and trying to figure out, on day one of the cruise, what we're doing during those ports of calls.
No.
we like to make those reservations well ahead. That way, the money's already spent and done. We don't have to worry about $200, $300, $400, $500 more in on our onboard bill because we
Waited
didn't
to the last
right.
minute.
And then you're getting stuck with whatever's left.
Yeah.
All right. So we've talked about
Everything.
everything. Have we talked about everything?
Pretty much. Let's see, activity levels.
Yeah.
Oh, dining.
Okay.
We have done the hibachi dining, specialty dining, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
We've done the buffet for dinner. We've done the main dining room.
We tend to like the main dining room, because we get to meet different people.
We like to sit at large. Like if it's Cheryl and I on a cruise, just the two of us, we'll tell them we want to sit at a table of 6, 8, or 10. Because
sometimes 4, but depending on how busy dinner is. But yeah,
I told that was supposed to be a table of 6.
It was,
but the other couple didn't show,
Correct.
So it was only 4 of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we enjoy the main dining room because of the
social
the
setting.
atmosphere. Well, I enjoy the atmosphere and the wait staff and being waited on. We also enjoy the social setting, the ability to talk to people. And honestly, a lot of times that gives us a chance to rest and relax after a busy day, or even a lazy day laying around the pool. That being out in that sun and in the water takes it out of you. So that's kind of a recuperation time for us.
And you're not forced to have dinner in the main dining room every night.
Right.
If you can't make it, that's fine. Go to the buffet.
Yeah.
If you had a busy day, right? There's so many different options.
And don't forget, if you want to, there's plenty of specialty dining options available. There's sushi, and there's Italian, and then there's steak, and you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. The one thing I don't think we've covered yet is sea day, like onboard activities. Balancing that, because particularly like our favorite at the moment is Royal Caribbean, and we really like the Oasis class ships. There's literally, if it's after 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning, and before 2 in the morning, there's multiple things going on all the time.
Well, and it's very time consuming not time consuming, but it's helpful when we look at the paper the night before.
Yes.
So that we have if we want to go to trivia at 1:00 in one of the bars, we know that we have to be there a half hour
ahead,
if not 45 minutes ahead. And especially if
can we make it if that's at 1:00 and we need to be in there by 12:20? What are we doing at 12:00? Will that be over at 12:20, or are we doing something at 11:30 that will be over and then we can scoot? Or do we need to take a break?
Yeah.
So yeah, planning the excursions is important to us. Planning the onboard activities is just as important, and putting in some downtime in between. Now, granted, onboard activities for us are not necessarily very, physically stressful. Okay.
bar hopping is physically stressful.
Well, we're not rock climbing. We're not surfing. We're not zip lining. That's not our thing. So, but like I said, lounging at the pool and, having the waiter bring you drink after drink after drink does take a toll out of you.
Yeah, ripping that cat out and just, handing it something. It's like, hey. But there's plenty of things to do on the cruise ships, on the at-sea days. You really won't be bored unless you choose.
If you want to be bored, you can be. Yes.
Absolutely. Right. And there are times that we just like sitting there watching people.
Yes.
Which is not boring to us.
No.
Because we've met some great people, like Terry and her husband on the February cruise. One of our favorite activities
you just mentioned
is also listening to live music.
Which is part of the reason we like the Oasis class ships, because there's always, arguably, from after 5 or 6 p.m., there's at least two different types of music going on at all times.
And again, we've met some great people in the nightclubs. So it's.
So yeah, I think we've kind of beat this one to death. Any last thoughts before we, let these people get back to their lives?
If you have a busy workout schedule at home, there's plenty of stuff to do from 6:00 in the morning until 8 o'clock at night, if not later. So there's always something there for you. They have daily activities throughout the day.
That's what daily means.
Yeah.
So if you want to exercise, if you want to maintain that exercise schedule, pretty much every ship out there that I know of has some sort of exercise / fitness area and activities. It might not be exactly what you have at home, but
there's something to be discovered in every nook and cranny of the ship, regardless of whether it's the library or the
which
pool
unfortunately
deck.
a lot of ships are doing away with.
Well,
anyway,
make your room.
Now that we've beat this dead horse about
stop beating horses.
balancing rest and relaxation versus activity, check out this video we did recently about planning those shore excursions.
Yes.